Hey everybody, this is the Gaming Preacher, bringing you a first look, at least for me, of Medal of Honor Warfighter, the actual game, not the beta. I got the game last night, so I thought I'd put up a video of one of my first gameplays. I want to take a look here real quick at just the selection of maps. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maps. The only two I've seen so far are Jungle and Sarajevo Stadium. The Stadium map was in the beta, if you played that on Xbox Live. I'm going to flip through here and look real quick at some of the different game modes. You have Real Ops, which is kind of like a hardcore mode. You have Minimal HUD and Friendly Fire. Warfighter is a combo of Sector Control and Team Deathmatch. Sector Control is kind of like Domination. All Combat Mission is an objective type game. You destroy different objectives. Then of course you've got the regular Team Deathmatch. Sector Control, just that mode alone. Move over here to Hotspot. That's the game that was in the beta, was the Hotspot, where you're controlling different areas of the map, different objectives. And then Home Run, which is a capture the flag type game. So that's a quick look at some of the game modes. We're going to go into a Sector Control here and see how long it takes me to die. Probably not very long. Let's see, I spawn. It's funny, I spawn right in front of somebody. Wow, look at that. I didn't even see that guy. I thought he was debris. Good grief. Now the one thing you'll know, obviously if you play Battlefield, Medal of Honor looks very similar to you. It's a very Battlefield-esque kind of game. Although for some strange reason I like Medal of Honor better than I do Battlefield. I don't know why that is, but I just do. But the main thing you're going to notice that the biggest difference between Medal of Honor and Call of Duty is of course the amount of bullets it takes to bring somebody down. That's unless of course you're shooting at me and then it only takes maybe one bullet on my toe and then I die. But seriously, I mean, you know, I've always had trouble with Medal of Honor, Battlefield too for that matter, of dying very quickly. It seems like it doesn't take many bullets for someone to bring me down, but it seems like I have to plug in a whole clip of someone to get them. And you know, it may just be my aim. Maybe I need to worry more about headshots, about upper body shots to really take people down. But if you want to call a game, you know, realistic, and I use that term very loosely because this is a game. Medal of Honor, Battlefield, I guess you would consider more realistic than, say, for example, Call of Duty. Call of Duty, especially as it's moved along, has gotten a little more arcade-like in terms of its gameplay, its realism. So, by default, to me, Medal of Honor, Battlefield are going to be a little bit harder games to play, particularly if you're a Call of Duty aficionado, if that's really the only type of first-person shooter that you've played. Now the gameplay on this one, like I said, is Sector Control. You can see on the HUD down there that there's several different locations that you have to control, and you need to get your teammates within that certain area to control that, and as you're doing that you're earning points. So it's a little bit like Headquarters, but without the objectives moving around. They stay in one location, they're stationary. Now I start off a little slow here, obviously I've never seen the map, so I don't really know where I'm going. And just trying to get used to the gameplay again, since I haven't played since the beta stopped the other day. But I end up doing a little better along the way. I mean, it wasn't a beasting score or anything, but I'm able to get several support actions that I'm able to bring in, and you'll see those here in a moment. One thing I have noticed that when I can remember to do so, I do better when I burst fire. The recoil on these guns, at least on the ones I play with, you know, can increase pretty good once you're holding down your trigger, and you'll have to really try to slow down a little bit and take a better aim when you can, and throw in some burst fire to sort of keep your aim on target, keep your sight on your target. Now I have noticed too that I probably need to sway back and forth a little bit more when I'm firing. I try to be a little too static when I shoot, and obviously the player that I'm shooting at, unless I'm just lucky, is not just going to stand there and say, hey, shoot me. So they're going to be moving around some, so you do have to kind of follow your target a little bit. The grenades on this game, oh, here I am bringing in a mortar strike. We'll see if I get anybody with that. Yep, I did. And now I got a guided missile. Cool. Now the thing that I like and I don't like, I like the fact that you have to target in your support actions, like your mortar attack. Like here, I'm calling in a guided missile. you actually have to target those in, so you're not getting from the get-go an overhead map like you do in Call of Duty. Now you get one here because you're bringing in a guided missile, and obviously you have to see it in order to guide it. But for example, the mortar strike, it's not like you know, some of the Call of Duty kill streaks where you're presented with a HUD and an overhead view of the map, and you can pretty much call it in wherever you want to. In Medal of Honor, similar to Battlefield, you have to put a target, an eye on target, so to speak, a laser target where you want your support action to land, to hit, to fall. And that really requires you to get in the action. It requires you to get close to the target area that you're wanting to hit. So it's not quite as, you know, as easy. It's again more realistic, but it's definitely not as easy as Call of Duty, where you can just drop anything in wherever you want to. Now I had a cluster bomb there, and I thought that'd be a pretty good support action to bring in, but once I saw it hit, I'm not really sure where I brought it in at. It didn't seem like it landed where I intended it to, or where I thought it was going to. But that was the first time I had used a cluster bomb, so I'll figure that out, I guess, eventually. This seems to be the most contested objective, the location here in this game. I'm noticing that people are getting up in that building right there in my upper left. So I really need to probably try to get up in there just to either hold that building down or to take out some people who are going in there. I believe we're winning right now. It looks like it's kind of hard to tell because up at the top all I'm getting is a blue and a red line. I'm not getting any numbers, but it looks like we've got 2 out of the 3 that we're holding, so we should be in pretty good shape. You see right there that I ranked up, I suppose, and I opened up another class, a heavy gunner, or actually it's the LMG class. They call it a heavy gunner. So I get another mortar strike here or smoke screen, so you have an option of bringing in an offensive or a defensive support action when that pops up on your screen. And of course all those different support actions are dependent upon the class that you use. Here I'm using an Assaulter class, so those are the streaks or the support actions that I have available. If I was using another class, I might end up having a UAV and something else. So those depend on the class that you're playing with. I'm going to try to get around to this second story building over here, because I imagine they're going to, yeah, they're up in there again. Because you can watch over that particular flag or objective there in from the top of that building. So that's probably a place we need to secure if we're wanting to hold this. The grenade launcher doesn't seem to be terribly powerful. I have used it a couple times, and I don't think I've gotten but maybe 1 or 2 kills. You have to be pretty spot on with it. It doesn't seem to have a very wide or very broad damage radius. And see that right there, it just goes to show some of my just terrible shooting that I have. Now you saw a red outline of a figure there showed up inside that building, so I know that there's someone in there. You can also, if you're using one of the other classes, I think it's a Spec Ops, you have a signal scan ability, as they call them, that allows you to do a quick scan of the area around you and will show enemy soldiers there. Now I'm going up these stairs, and I didn't really know anybody was in there, so I'm kind of shooting blind. Apparently they either jumped out the window or something else happened to them, I don't know. But we have control of this building, which is over our objective now, so we seem to be in pretty good shape. Still showing we have about 5 minutes left on the clock, and we're still holding 2 out of the 3. So it looks like we're doing good. Now you do get some points here, you know, with this buddy system. And I called in smoke there by accident. I meant to call it a mortar. You have to keep mind of where you're hitting on the D-pad as you're bringing those in. With the buddy system that you have here, and that can be either if you're partnering with someone that you know, or if you just get thrown into a match with a buddy. Oh, look at there. Me and my buddy. We were the highlighted fire team. So I went 13-8. You know, not an amazing score by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was a pretty good game overall. We won. Here you get to see your accolades for the match, your ranking up. I do have a little bit of a double XP right now, and so you can see here as you're going through your Assaulter class, you get a fire assistance ribbon for doing certain things within that game, within that match. Commendations, all these things contribute to your rank, contribute to your career points or your XP. And the double XP seems to help really well here at the beginning as you're trying to rank up real quick. I don't have a grip yet on the weapon ranking up of how quick that happens, so I'm going to have to take a look at that and figure out. Now these Warfighter Nation, these tokens you get, if you look up in the top left, you see there that I've chosen the US as my nation. and you earn tokens as you go through the game that you can go online there to the battle log at the Medal of Honor website, and you can add your tokens to the nation of your choice. And what that does is it doesn't really do anything for you, but it's sort of a nation prestige thing, a nation recognition thing. So guys, there you go. There's my first gameplay for Medal of Honor Warfighter. Hope you enjoyed it. If you got any questions, just leave them below. I'll try to answer them the best I can. And you guys have a great day, and God bless. Bye.